One just has the terms on it.
Oh,
I didn't know if anyone needed to know.
gotcha. All right, do we have sound now? Good. All right. All right. Almont DDA meeting, February 23rd. It is calling to order at 7:03 p.m. New to the agenda is we're taking a roll call, correct? Make
Yes.
sure everybody's here. Krista Booz. Steve Schneider. Holly.
Present.
Are they present yet? Do we swear them in or no? Or
They're sworn in.
They're sworn in.
Sworn
That's
in
right.
already.
Yep, we're gonna.
Melissa Schneider. Trish Feldman.
Here.
Angela Edwards.
Here.
All
I don't
right.
know if I count, but I'm here.
You count for that. Any additions or deletions to our agenda?
Yep, we're going to delete letter A because they are already sworn in, and letter H with the parking because I want to get more information before I want to talk to Tina and stuff before we have any discussion on it. So
Thank you.
And we're adding 2 bills payable as well.
oh
And-
yeah,
Angela passed the sheet out to all of us.
we're adding the
Just 2.
the
The-
bills payable in there. I gave you new sheets with the stars, and we're also I didn't have the approval of the Heritage Committee meeting. I wasn't sure if we were supposed to approve those, the minutes.
We have to approve those, do we?
I
Heritage
think we
Trust
just take them,
committee
but
meetings.
I don't believe so.
okay. I put them in the packet, and I don't have them to be approved though, so.
All right, so reflect the change, having the 2 bills payable. We'll discuss when we get to that section. Anything else?
Nope.
All right, you want to go over the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 communications we have?
Yeah, it's quick. The lawsuit update, there was no objection. It's being filed this week. This is from last week, and we should be able to get the funds next week without need for a hearing. That was from our attorney. So we should be getting the funds this week, next week, soon. But it's all said and done officially. So that's exciting.
Precise amount of the funds.
It was, I don't off the top of my head, it was under $10,000. I believe it was between 8 and 10.
That was for assessed costs.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it was
cost of
listed.
appeals.
We had that listed in the,
In the first email, I think he
Yes.
sent, or the motion, that email with the motion to stay that had,
if
All
memory
the
serves,
amounts.
is right around $5,000.
Just wanted to confirm, see if any new developments.
All right.
I registered for the MDA Spring Conference in Lansing on March 8th and 9th. It's really
All right.
not much to talk about there. I completed the first phase of Main Street training. So we'll be on a path towards pursuing that this year if all goes as planned. The light pole in front of State Farm was hit and taken down. It is being replaced. The person who hit it filed it on his insurance as a property damage claim, and we have RCI who has already given us quotes and hasn't ordered it yet until they talk to the insurance, but that's all in motion. And there are some parts that weren't broken, so those are in our storage unit just in case we ever need them for other poles.
Do we have pictures of what it'll look like? I'm just curious to see how the new poles held up to getting hit.
don't know.
It's all in one piece.
Yeah.
It was? Okay. Just wondering.
Yeah, I can.
I think I have a picture in my email of it.
Yeah, just wondering.
And then I have a quote appointment for the UV film for the Historical Society that we spoke about at the last meeting. There are two companies that are going to come out on March 4th to just measure the windows and give us a quote for that. So
All right. The MDA, or not the MDA, Main Street, you found before we made it through a certain point in what?
Yeah.
2017, 2018, 2016?
I think 2015 or 2016 was where I found we were listed as in the first step, and then it never made it past there.
So we didn't get it. There's no credit for what we're doing now for that, right? We're just starting over. Okay. All right, thank you. Any public comments on agenda items? Nope. All right, I need an approval for the consent agenda, please. Steve made a motion. Who supported? Hi. Krista supported. Can you move that down a little bit? Just bend it over. Thank you. Any further discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Let's keep moving forward then. Next one, we're going to need a approval of minutes. We're going to need a motion on that for the January 25th meeting, and they're included.
I'll move to approve.
Steve makes a motion.
I'll second it.
Holly seconds. Any further discussion? No. All in favor? Opposed? All right, move forward on that. That was approved. Okay, approval of bills payable. We're going to need a motion on those. Please note the separate sheet that has the new total. New total is $12,240.70 versus the original at $10,795.99.
Changes where the asterisks are.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Two of them for the Village of Almont, one for $13.99.45 and the other one for $45.26.
I'll make a motion to approve bills payable.
Motion. Can we get a second?
Second.
Steve seconds. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Nope. All right. Let's move to treasurer's report. January's balance sheet. We're going to need motions for approval on all those.
For all sub-items in the treasurer's report.
Say it
You
again.
need separate motions for
Yes,
all the
separate for each
sub-items
one.
on
Correct.
treasurer's report.
Be nice if we could do in one, but we need four. So if we look through it, if someone give me one for the balance sheet, that'd be great.
I'll make a motion to approve the January balance sheet.
I get a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, quick question. Can the treasurer make a motion? I don't believe so.
On as to the report for her functions, probably not the best.
Right, so let's
Say-
redo that.
Yeah.
I'll do the motion.
And
Okay.
I'll second.
I'll support. Oops.
Okay. All right. Krista made the motion. Melissa seconded?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's move to January profit and loss. Any questions on that first? But if you could, take a look at that.
So these documents are prepared by Holly? No, it's what?
LDC prepares them.
It's still LDC?
Yes.
Okay. And there's going to be a transition at some point in time.
Correct.
All right.
As soon as Kim's ready, we're ready.
Right. So we good. I need a motion for January profit and loss budget. Who's not the treasurer?
I can't help you.
I'll make a motion.
Krista made a motion,
Support.
second by Melissa. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, passes. Next one is the January profit and loss. Same thing, we'll need a motion and support.
Not seeing any blurring discrepancy. I'll make that motion.
All right, Steve made the motion,
Second.
second by Trish or Melissa? Melissa. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That one passes. Last one. Round them out. January check register. And is LDC liking the way it's coming out? No? Okay.
Yep. Again, she said super pleased with everything, and it was minutes. So
I haven't heard from her, so that's a good sign.
oh, yeah.
I need a motion on those.
Motion.
All right. Krista made a motion. Can we get a second?
Support.
Trish supports. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, moving forward. Director's report.
Well, you guys will have it. I don't know that there's that much in here that we haven't gone over in the Heritage Festival meeting or that we won't touch on the agenda. I'm going to start quarterly lunches with Dana Walker and Jim Alt from Lapeer just to network. And I guess I used to do it monthly to quarterly and at some point stopped. So they're excited. And they're both really great resources. I have a new laptop that's in, and it's great.
Hooray.
Hey, what do we do with the old boat anchor?
I still have it,
Okay.
just in case since some things didn't transfer over. I don't want. Yeah, I think everything else we've already touched on or we're going to. So you guys can read through it, and if you have any questions, let me know.
Hours worked, can you clarify to everybody you are now full-time as of what day?
Last Monday,
Last Monday, okay.
I believe.
All right. And then, all right, any questions or anything on the director's report before we move on? Nope, okay. All right, go into new business. We're skipping to B because we went over A or next day. DPW snow removal. So this is the final year of our contract. We've discussed before as far as whether we do or don't have to go out to bid. We technically don't have to. So the DPW drafted a letter and has some estimated costs for us. Brian, you want to talk to us?
So for those who don't know me, I'm Brian Treat. I'm the DPW supervisor, and I've been employed with the village since 2006. I've worked with Angela the last couple of months, more in the last 2 months than I have with the previous director in 18 years. So it's been a pleasure for the last couple of months. I really think that we're kind of moving in the right direction, if you would. So I guess I just want to take a moment and discuss some things, some services that we currently provide to our residents, services that we've provided in the past to the DDA and services that we haven't. So a couple things I want to kind of get out of the way. You guys might not like to hear it, but as far as like the DDA sidewalks, that is the village's #1 complaint. It's been a complaint for the 18 years I've been here, and it's never going to go away. The one thing I need you guys to understand is the village and the DDA has no legal obligation to provide that service for anybody. We are protected under an ordinance by the village along with government immunity. If you guys want to provide that service, that's great. That's perfect. The DPW is here to provide that service. But just remember, it's a service that you are providing. Everybody has a right to sue if they decide to trip and fall or whatever, but you know, we are protected through ordinances and stuff like that. So that's the worst part, okay? I have 4 employees underneath me. I wanted my foreman to be here tonight, but he's out on the street. I am a working supervisor, and we've recently put a plow on the wastewater treatment plant truck, and we have 3 younger guys that work there. For emergencies, I can use them. We're actually using their vehicle right now. I have 2 7-yard dump trucks, a backhoe, 3 pickups. My board last night approved a $63,000 truck that will be primarily used in the DDA district if we take over parking lots and stuff like that. I purchased my salt through the state of Michigan, and we actually had an intern last summer, and we did a calculation, and the amount of salt that we would actually use in your parking lots, we're not even going to charge for it, right? Isn't that what we decided? It's such a small amount compared to what we use on the streets. So, basically, I'm here to answer any questions you have and to let you know that the DPW is here for the community. Okay? I guess I can open it up to questions if you have any questions.
I would just like to comment in terms of my experience working with Brian at the village council level. His performance and the DPW's performance has been par excellence, and they're very conscientious and very thorough, and the DPW employees are very committed, working 24/7 sometimes it seems like, and doing a pretty good job. Actually a very good job. One of the things that had bothered me with last year's contract is I think the village, and correct me if I'm wrong, was led to believe that there was going to be an agreement between the DDA and village DPW as to snow removal. And based upon that understanding with the previous director, we purchased very expensive equipment. Agreed, Brian?
So, yes, but I guess I don't want to bring too much of the past up, but there was a time where our DPW could not have provided this service for you guys. Since I've been on deck, my board, I'll be flat out on, they've purchased almost $1 million worth of equipment and 2 other employees. When I started, there was me and 2 other guys and a supervisor. There was a 4th guy, but he didn't do a whole lot of work. But in the last 10 years, my board has purchased, it's easily $1 million worth of equipment. And we have 5 full-time employees. So there was a time, if I kind of steer the other way, there was a time that we could not do that. But within the last 4 or 5 years, I have made it known that we can do that and keep the services in-house and, you know, stuff like that.
That someone corroborates my point is that the village has been at a steady pace buying equipment so that
Yes,
village could in fact take on that obligation.
yes,
So we put a lot of money into that so we could do exactly this.
yes.
And it was a little bit flustering, I think, when it kind of went sideways and DPW's commitment to that project was not implemented. And if I recall correctly, just to show strange redirection, when the contract for this past winter was brought before the board, the former director told Brian, don't come. Am I correct?
That's
Okay.
correct.
So-
I was,
So, excuse me, what the hell? What,
Oh.
what is that? So it appears that things have not been properly handled in the past, and the village itself, village council has made a commitment in this direction. And so you can go into all the details of what you want to do from this point, but I just wanted to lay that groundwork because things went amiss previously.
so we have had the opportunity to meet with Angela on several occasions along with Kim and the manager. And we've actually looked at some cost analysis and stuff like that. We are not for hire. We don't make money. We're just a simple wage reimbursement. So like, we don't charge, you know, like per plow or per salting. We could salt the sidewalks 3 times in an hour and you're still paying the same price. Okay, we're here 8 hours a day. I mean, I have a pension, I have benefits, you know, I mean, you can either put me to work or either way, I'm still getting paid, I guess, if you would, you know. But, I mean, the numbers are in front of you and I can answer any more questions if anybody has any.
So just to point out in here, looks like you guys put together a cost breakdown for what we've been paying versus what we're going to be paying. So hopefully everybody sees the difference with that, right? Just as you're looking through it, you know, one of the concerns back when we had the conversation months ago was, you know, what's the backup, right? People were throwing out water main breaks and everything, right? And at the time, we weren't sure how to discuss that, but you kind of touched on something earlier about a plow truck on the water department. What do we have for,
So
just in case?
first of all, I should probably apologize for saying it like this, but I don't know how to be politically correct, but if we have a water main break, that's my problem, not yours. Okay, we agreed to do something, it will get done. Okay, I have contractors that work for me. If I can't fix something, I can call a contractor. I mean, I have technically 8 people. You know, there's a process. We've had water main breaks before. Now, I think I know where the question came from. In 2019, we had a water leak, and we did not know where that leak was. So yes, all of our services were being put off to the side because we were losing 100,000 gallons of water a day, and you know, it was not a fun time for any of us. So we weren't plowing to the standards that we should have been and taking care of, I believe, the sidewalks at the time. But that is my worry, and I don't want you guys to worry about that. That's part of my chaos that I organize every day. And if we agree to do something for you guys, we will do it. I can't tell you that it's going to be done at a certain time, but I can guarantee you get the best service that I can provide. 9 times out of 10, you'll be done by 7 o'clock, sidewalks and parking lots. I mean, and if we need to come through back during the day, I'll get with Angela, and you know, it's only an hourly expense. You know, the materials, you know, depending on what you want to put on the sidewalks, me and Angela will purchase that together. I don't pay tax, and I have vendors that we get municipal discounts. So, I mean, the materials alone is a savings, you know. But I don't want you to think, oh, you're going to have a water main break and not provide the service. I just want you to know that it's part of my chaos that I organize every day. So Anything
Explained it,
else?
that's
I
fine.
mean,
What other questions do people have?
I can go over some more equipment or whatever, but I can show you that my board has been 100% supportive of their DPW. At one time, I thought they should have closed the doors because of the way our equipment was, and they decided to go the other way and invest money into it. So, and I think every time they do that, we become more productive, which opens us up to other services that we can provide. And to be honest with you, I think, Angela, don't like me saying this, but you need to spend your money in making the downtown look nice and instead of maintaining it. You know, you need new garbage cans, light poles, stuff like that. I'd rather see the money go there.
Well, and both of these show that that value is half of what we've paid for both quotes.
And we provided those last year and possibly the year before. So it's not to bring up the past, but moving forward, we are here for the community if you guys choose us to be.
And sidewalks would be the special type of ice melt that we need. It wouldn't
Whatever
be,
you need.
it
I'll
wouldn't
get
be
with
road
Angela
salt.
and we'll order it, and I'll
Okay.
do the best I can to get the best price. My salt for parking lots and the streets, I purchased through the state of Michigan. You can't get a better deal than that.
Yeah.
And I don't, last time we had a meeting, it was such a little amount, we're not even gonna charge. We'll just eat that up with the road fund, you know, I'll wipe it out into the major and local street fund.
I think our only complexity is the stamped concrete. We got to use the ice melt.
Yeah. So,
A factor is cost, but I think an additional factor is, again, integration of services between village council, DPW, and the DDA. And I think that there's something to be said for that. And in terms of there are issues, there are problems, we won't be addressing those problems with a private contractor. We'll be addressing it with our guy, essentially.
it's here every day, you know,
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I mean, Brian and I have been intertwined for years now, and I have nothing but the highest respect for his work ethic and what he takes care of. So I think that factor combined with the cost factor means a lot in terms of making a decision.
if you look at some of those cost analysis too, Kim put together where it's the lowest paid guy and then my rate. Very often will you see my rate in there. I mean, if I do, I usually hide that into another fund like the street fund or something like that. I am working, I show up every day and, you know, I do work, but I don't always charge my wages to each department because obviously I have the highest wages. And the double time and the holidays, all that stuff's on there and it's still a lot less.
Yeah.
So I'd like to have the work. I said this a couple years ago. I'd like to have the work. I'd like to be there for the community. I'd like to see the community put more money into the infrastructure and, you know, stuff like that. So.
Sidewalks would be somewhat of a
So,
priority.
yeah, don't take that the wrong way about the sidewalks. Don't get me wrong. I play a catch-22 on that, okay? Your downtown's on a major highway and there's 5 lanes there of snow. So the snow gets pushed to the sides, okay? You almost need to do something with it, okay? I feel for you there. I really truly believe we need to provide it as a service. But I just don't want people to think that it's expected because really we have no legal obligation to do it. But I do support doing that. I mean, you get the county coming through and they plow it off to the sides and you got quite a bit of snow up there. And it should be removed every couple of snows, you know, which we used to do that in the past. But like the parking lots, I don't think we've ever been offered them, you know. And when I did mention it, it was, well, you got to put in a bid. Well, I'm another government agency. I don't do that, you know, so.
I bring up sidewalks because I think that's what most directly affects the community The people that want to go to the businesses,
I
and the
think,
sidewalks are
right.
taken care
I
of.
think they want that service, and I
big-
agree with it, but we're,
Yeah.
you know, we got to look at it as we're providing a service for the business owners. So,
Well, and that's what my stance before is. I think it's something, I mean, with the complexities of Van Dyke, they are businesses. Do we have to? No, but I think we should. And then all of a sudden we got all these business owners either contracting it out, or they're shoveling it. And
well,
we remember somebody shoveling in the middle of the street and the cops got called. So
Yeah.
we don't need that. So.
Steve knows that in 2014, my board bought a skid steer for the sidewalks.
Yeah.
That's what that was for the sidewalks. Just some things kind of went off track there. And, you know, if there's better equipment out there, then we'll purchase better equipment. You know, I'll purchase the equipment. Obviously, you can see where the equipment gets charged off, you know. And Angela, she has, I mean, we so far have a good working relationship. She sees something that we can do better, we can work on that, you know? So.
So any other further questions for Brian?
He says no more
No,
questions.
he's like, I'm out.
good.
So at this point in time, the board just needs to go over, you know, we're in a contract now. That's not changing, right? And we were an extension of a 1 year to a 2 year to a 3 year. So the big question that comes into play that people have to factor in, is this something we want to go back out and go out to bid for, or do we just start doing it internally using the village services? So what we'll do is just basically just need a motion. If that's the direction we want to go, make a motion to say, hey, we're not looking to do a bid anymore and we're going to end up going with DPW. Or the motion is the other way and no, we want to still continue going out to bid.
I would make a motion to use the DPW for our 2023-24 snow plowing, salting services.
Second that.
Further discussion? All right, so we have motions. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes. Thanks all. All right, so moving on to next one. Banner contract. Angela brought up to me that back in August, we had a motion to use yard services for the banners for 2023. But if you look at the contract, that was never signed or followed through at the time frame.
I was updating our website compliance, which we legally have to have all of our contracts on our website, and I cannot locate the signed contract for that. So we need to get that signed. I wasn't here then, so the minutes say that it was passed unanimously.
So at the time frame that was passed, so it hasn't been done yet, so we don't have a contract on it. So the big question is do we want her to go, as the board, go forward with the contract, have her sign it? Because, was that in here? I thought I saw it in here.
Contract.
Contract's on the back
The blank one?
sheet
Yeah.
of the minutes.
It's on the back of this page, Andy.
That I
It's on the
found.
back of this page. This one's easy to find. At least.
Oh.
Yep.
There we go. Thank you. I'm like, I know I saw it in the email. So this is Kim's name on it, so that would have to be redrafted. So the big question from the board is, that was put on the agenda is, do we want to move forward and have Angela finish off the contract and go forward, or potentially rescind the contract and go through a different route? What's the board's thoughts? Or sneeze.
I'm trying not to. My thought would be we're trying to do everything together with the village, be one. Why would we not have the village provide this service as well? The DPW, not the village, sorry.
I do have a signed contract.
You do? Okay, do you have it with you?
No, I didn't know I needed to bring my contract.
All right, can you get that to us then? Okay, when was it signed, do you recall? Not sure, okay. So get us the contract and then that's a moot point and we'll have it contracted for 2023.
Question, you say, I think you used the words rescind the contract. It's,
Rescind the vote.
you generally can't rescind the contract.
Yes.
It's binding unless there's some kind of breach of that contract. So Tracy raises a valid point.
Fine.
And so you have to present with the contract, yeah.
Sorry, I meant rescind our vote on the contract, not the contract.
Follow it.
Okay. All right. So if you get us the contract, then we'll stick through it for the following year. All right. All right. Perfect. All right. So moving to D, resignations. We had Christy and Paul both resign from their positions. I need a separate motion to accept their resignations independently.
I'll make a motion to accept Christie's resignation.
Support it.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Do we need a roll call? We need to vote on that or no? Okay. All right. So can we get a vote on accepting resignation, Krista?
Yes. Accept.
For Christie's.
For
Steve?
Christie's.
Yes.
Holly?
Accept.
I have to accept too, I think. I accept as well.
Yeah, you get a vote. Yeah, you have a vote.
Just checking. All right. We're going to need a motion also for Paul Randazzo's resignation.
I'll make a motion to accept Paul's resignation as well.
Second?
I'll second.
Krista seconds. All right, let's go and vote on that one. Krista? Steve?
Accept.
Holly?
Accept.
I'll accept.
Accept.
Okay. And again, we want to thank both Christy and Paul for their time on the board, and we truly, truly appreciate the effort that they put into it. So, and I think both left the door open about coming back at some point in time when life has changed. So we'll definitely take them back.
Step forward to stir up some interest in the community, because we have 3 positions we should be filling. And we did that previously, did we not?
We did.
Yeah,
We
I
did.
think
No different than Heritage Fest. I told everybody to bring a friend. So yeah, we need to, well, are we, with the 2 that we have here, do we really need 3 more or only,
No, we need.
is it 3 more? Okay.
So I have sent an application to the new owners of Good Grounds. They're interested. They kind of want to wait till they open because, you know, they're trying to renovate right now. But, and then I would like to talk to a couple of other business owners and see where their heads are at that I think would be a good fit. But I think everyone should be asking people that they think would be a good fit for, you know, if they're interested.
I know I talked to the gentleman in the bowling alley. He'd definitely be interested. It's just tonight
That's what I was
doesn't
thinking,
work
yeah.
out. But he said he'd definitely support us with whatever we need too. So whatever we could think of to utilize him, he said he'd be happy to help.
trying to get him on the board for at least.
I know.
10 years.
He
I
would be-
know.
He's amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good man. The one of the sometimes more difficult issues and good news now is that we have 2 board members who reside within the district, which was a problem before because the Michigan statute says you're supposed to have a village resident, and half the time at least that was impossible to obtain. But we don't have that problem now, so that's helpful.
So yeah, so reach out to other business owners, other people, get some interest. We need some help. All right.
Can I say
Go-
something really quick?
Yeah, go
Because
ahead.
my thunder was stolen last night. School's closed for tomorrow.
All righty.
But it's being announced at 7:45, so.
Really? I wish I could text my kids right now. All right. So officers. So with the fact that, you know, Tracy and Paul's resigned, we now have to pick, well, we don't have to. We need a motion for vice chair and a motion for secretary. You know, I don't think we need to, we gotta be cautious on filling those roles. And then let's talk about the duties first. So secretary, Holly's been filling in as secretary and treasurer for right now. Can you spill the roles of secretary and what that basically entails?
So taking minutes during the meeting, obviously writing down what's happening as it's happening, so you need to be able to write quickly and read your quick writing. But at least now we also have the YouTubes to fall back on, which is super helpful if you can't remember exactly what you wrote, like I did last time. And then compiling the minutes, and it needs to be done in a very timely manner after the meeting, sent to Angela so that she can get it together and get them posted, because they're supposed to be posted on our website, and get them in the agenda for the next meeting as well.
So would anybody like to recommend somebody to fill that role?
And I will certainly help whoever's going to take this over.
How much time do you think is involved? Just so people have an idea.
I guess it depends on how quick of a typer you are, first of all, and how easily you recollect things. Like, personally, I don't have great recollection, so it takes me a little bit longer than it might take someone who has, like, just remembers everything off the top of your head. But it's very easy. Like, we have a format. Angela will email me the Word document of this meeting's agenda, and then I'll go in and throw in all the motions, who made them, supported them, all that good stuff. So it's not terribly demanding, just it needs to be done, like, quickly. I would say no more than 2 hours, honestly. And that's max. That's like for a 3-hour meeting like last time, like that's max.
That was Heritage.
And I had
Too.
Heritage Fest too, you're right. So yeah.
And remember that our meeting minutes, once approved, are going up on the website. So they are a matter of record, just so you're aware. So at this point in time, does anybody want to throw somebody's name in the hat for secretary? Can't be me. You can, if you're not doing it, you can nominate somebody. All right. You're a bus drove a couple times, so
I was. That's why I don't want to do it.
turnaround's fair play, right? Listen, at the end of it, we're all here to help, right? So,
Right, exactly.
anybody?
There's nobody here. That's usually who gets nominated.
I know. We can make up a name.
My only other thought was, and I told you this, and you don't think it was the best idea necessarily, but in our bylaws, it does state that the director can be the recording secretary.
It is. I just have concerns, especially with some things that were missed prior.
Right, and I get that, but we also have the YouTubes now. So we always have that to fall back on. That's if no one's, willing to step up.
So, but we still have to appoint a secretary. The secretary just delegates those duties. So we still have to have a secretary. So, just so we're aware of that.
So if that were to be implemented, could you do that, Angela?
Yeah.
See, and other volunteers.
I mean, now that we're
Couple
finally on
random
YouTube, it clears up a lot of that,
Mhm.
right? So, and it helps. So if that's the path we want to go down, then I would say, hey, let's nominate somebody. And then in that nomination, with the further delegation to Angela, if that's the direction the board pushes.
So we know the previous structure before prior director stepped down, and we had essentially a whole brand new board, except for me, I guess. You, Andy's. I was the nominal secretary because I was handy to sign, and the previous director would prepare the minutes and give them to me to sign, to look at and sign. And so I guess I was delegating to her.
Correct. You were.
And I don't mind filling that role again, but just so we know realistically, if we're doing that, I won't be taking the minutes. I don't have the time, to prepare the minutes and et cetera, et cetera.
Well, and I think, just with your role as village council president, the less collugi we make it, I think it's better. That's just my 2 cents. I mean, I'd rather have some redundancy. I'd rather have some some checks and balances out there. Not that you're not it, I'm just saying, I
Yeah.
would rather have a third
Yeah.
party.
Yeah, you indicated there was a problem previously. I didn't have any problem with that because I wasn't actually taking the minutes. But I'm just throwing that out there. That's what was done previously. And, we got two members here that had, this is the very first meeting and a little hesitant to step forward, which is understandable.
That's my concern too, tapping somebody to do that. But again, with the treasurer duties, switching everything over to the village, I just hate to tax that on somebody else right now. My 2 cents. Does anybody want to nominate anybody for the role that's going to delegate it to somebody else if that's what they wish?
I will take over secretary just so Holly doesn't have to do both.
Thank you.
But let me just say, this is my first day. so-
Yes, it is.
I am taking minutes today.
Yeah, she's
Don't worry
taking
about
minutes.
Today
You know,
is handled.
again, big thing with that is make sure when you have the minutes, what we discussed is on there. And that's the biggest key. So, all right. So then we need a motion to accept Trish with the further delegation to Angela, if that's what the board wishes. Oh, hold on first. Does anybody else want to throw their name in the hat? I guess we got to give everybody else the opportunity who wants to. Going once, going twice.
Sold.
Sold.
So just to clarify, I'm taking minutes.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
I know.
Trish, are you comfortable
Oh, do you want to take
doing
the
the
minutes?
minutes?
Sorry.
Can we make an arrangement where you can do it for a while and then I'll-
Yeah, absolutely.
There we go.
I
So make
will
that motion.
Make a motion for Trisha to be our secretary, with Angela being our recording secretary for now.
All right. Somebody want to second that motion? Chris, a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Opposed? All right, passes. Welcome. Thanks for taking on the role.
Welcome.
All right. Now the next one would be for vice chair. The duties, the vice chair is really just filling in when I can't be here. So like tonight, originally, if it wasn't for everything shutting down in the world, I was supposed to be in 2 different places for my kids. So really that's essentially it. It's just a backup for me in the event that Angela can't get a hold of me to get some answers. She can reach out to the vice chair. It gives me somebody to discuss issues with instead of involving the whole board. That might be a little bit delicate. That's essentially the role as the vice chair. And vice chair right now, if we want to pass until we get a few more people, as long as we have somebody, if for some reason I can't make it, if somebody's at least willing to step up and say, hey, I can at least run the meeting. Maybe Steve can run the meeting or somebody can run the meeting. That's key.
Past years, going back a few past years, there were occasions like that, and because I was pretty experienced in running a meeting, I would sit in the chair for that evening. I'm certainly willing to do that again if the board's uncomfortable with it, because I'm the village president. Okay, but I'm more than happy to temporarily act as vice chair in case you can't be here.
I can only throw that out there. It could be anybody acting temporary. I just, if we don't want to, if somebody doesn't want to put their name in for vice chair, that role isn't as, to me, as important as getting that secretary duty right now, right? We just need a backup. So it depends on what the board wishes, whether they want to name somebody now or hold off until we can sucker 3 more people into being on the board. I mean, offer it to them.
You also can hold more than one role.
Yes, you
Just
can.
You cannot be chairperson and hold a second role. So just to clarify, someone who was secretary or treasurer could be
Yes, they can.
vice chair.
Yes. So that's an option that's out there too. So. So at this point in time, let the board say what they wish. Do we just wait? Do we throw a name in the hat, or somebody want to volunteer just to be the vice chair for now? You tell me.
Is there a term that is expiring just like how yours is?
We'd have to figure out when Christie's term
Yeah, I don't
was
remember what
expiring.
Christie was because she's off the list.
Yeah.
For 25 and 26, I believe. I have the old list, but
So with
no
the
one's replaced Chris, like whoever we appoint next will replace their term, so that person's term would end at the same.
same time. So we just follow their current term.
Yes.
So if you're new to the board, it's your current term. If it's, or whatever term they're filling in for.
Correct.
Yes.
They
So,
finish that term out.
Not a ton of complexity with that. So it's either gonna be 24 or 25. Thoughts, anybody?
I
Keith?
will do it if no one else is willing. I've kind of already half stepped into the role anyways, as far as dealing with issues when people aren't available.
I mean, we could do that. Does anybody have issues with that, or does anybody else? Again, it's either accept hers, somebody else throw their name in her hat, or say, let's just wait. Thoughts? She can't make the motion. She said she'll do it. So someone would have to make a motion
I'll
to,
make the motion, in particular because in terms of people stepping forward, aside from you, Andy, Holly has. So it seems appropriate to me. So yeah, I'll make a motion to nominate Holly. for
second
vice
on
chair.
that.
I'll second.
Chris, a second. Any further discussion? All right, all in favor? Opposed? Passes. Welcome to wearing two hats again. Got rid of one job to take on another job.
One is easier than the other.
Well, it is. And
Less
I,
time consuming.
it is
but-
not my goal not to be here, so.
Yeah, that's,
All right, F, term expiring. I guess we get to go down this path here too. So my term actually expires March of this year. So I guess we need to make a motion on keeping me around. Is that?
That would be the village council president to reappoint you.
He'd have to reappoint, so we'd need a motion from somebody else and then a second to give Steve those orders.
Are you still interested? I think that's the first question.
Well, I said
I
a
don't
long,
think we should ask the question, actually.
I said a
We
long
should
time
just
ago.
Skip over that.
My resignation is always available if somebody wants it, but I'm not interested in giving it up if nobody wants me to.
I'll make a motion for Andy, for the village council president to appoint Andy for a new term. Second that.
Discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Darn it.
So was that
Yeah.
you that seconded? I wasn't
All
looking,
right.
so I couldn't tell.
All right, all in favor? I'm around as long as the council accepts Steve's motion. All right, going to G, committee formation. As we're getting kind of redesigning everything and the new board and the new thought process and change and future, we discussed prior about looking at committees, right? No different than we did for Heritage Fest. We've got some things that we really need to tackle. Events infrastructure, bylaws and procedures, budget and finance, contract and evaluation. If the board, has questions on that or has some ideas, I think if we can at least have everybody step up to be a chair and a co-chair to that. Not that we're going to have duties right now, but that's stuff that as we lead through it, we know who to kick the football to kind of lead the charge, right? Bylaws and procedures, and that's just a matter of taking a look at our current bylaws, our current procedures, from hiring to firing to, who can serve in what capacity, what updates do we need with our bylaws. Those would be in that committee. Budget and finance, that would be kind of going over the ins and outs with the changes that are occurring. And then what else do you feel as treasurer, budget and finance would be involved with? Grant work, other ideas to explore fundraising or other ways that we can get more funds. That could also be, do we expand the DDA and TIF and and all sorts of stuff, which might come into with Main Street and everything. So basically it would be if the ball gets kicked back to discuss budget and finance, I mean, I think the treasurer would probably be the lead in that, and then have a co with that, my 2 cents. Contract and evaluation, that would be for our DDA director. We talked before about, as we're evaluating the DDA director, especially now full-time, is how do we evaluate that person? Is it, did they show up and have pretty folders, or what is it? Like, what do we need to do, right? We need some meat and potatoes. How do we grade them? Are they an A, a B, or a C? So who would be interested in kind of leading the charge on that? Now, that one is probably the soonest on here that needs to be done, because we committed to Angela to have that for her, because we said we're going to do a review in 6 months, correct? So that's something that's going to take more precedence now.
I also think that one might be able to combine with bylaws and procedure.
Yep. And again, this was just high level. Nobody said
Yeah.
they all have to go that way. So as a board, what are your thoughts to all that, right? Events and infrastructure, maybe infrastructure falls with budget and finance because we got to figure out how to pay for things. These are just some high level things that we kind of chatted through.
I think having a separate event committee is a must for sure. So we can get some of these things rolling out. I think like that is, even in my opinion, second to contract evaluation, all that good stuff. Because there's a lot of things that we need to start rolling out and we just don't have time.
I will also say that I know this is an unpopular opinion. I believe we're the only board in the village to only meet once a month. Like Lions meet twice a month, Park Board meets if Park Board only meets
Planning
once.
commissions once a month, first Thursday.
If we had the committees meet separate, that would make our regular meetings go much quicker and much smoother, because we could just go through, the committees could just report what they think, and, we just move on down the agenda.
Is there complexity with the committee meetings? Can we meet here over lunch? Like, we don't have to designate specific times for the public, correct?
Not if it's not a quorum and no action is being
Correct.
taken.
Yeah, so that stuff, the benefit to that, instead of us trying to drive another meeting, because I know for me that's complex, right? And most of us, right? It's complex to do.
The aspect is OMA,
Yeah.
Open Meetings Act, as long as you don't have a quorum
Correct.
for the committee.
And that's the benefit of having committees. They're smaller subsets, so we can talk through it. So that would help us not do this twice a month too, and still get a lot done.
Right, and if they could meet at any time, whenever those people are available. I mean, during the day would be great.
So why don't we have events? This is my 2 cents, and again, everybody's opinion, throw it in there, but events be a separate. Let's put budget, finance, and infrastructure together. And then bylaws, procedure, contract evaluation together. I'll be the first to throw my name in the hat. I've done plenty of hiring and firing over the years. So contract evaluation, bylaws, procedure, I'll be happy to lead that one.
It's great because I was going to nominate you. Just sounds like your cup of tea. So contract evaluation, bylaws and procedure.
Yes,
We're going to do as
is
long as
one.
everyone's cool with that.
Correct.
I'm trying to write it down.
Does somebody want to be a co-chair with me on that discussion? Anybody?
I will. Okay.
How many should we have for at least two? So we can't have a quorum, so we can't have too many. So I think 3 would be the most for each group, right? So do we want to pick 3, or do we want to have 2 and then throw another name in the hat later as we work through it? 2. Okay. All right. Let's go to the next one, which would be budget, finance, infrastructure. My 2 cents, treasurer should probably be leading that one because
I
you're
feel like that falls on my
correct.
shoulders.
So who wants to be a co with Holly? Either throw your name in there or someone's going to. like not to duplicate it too much. Trish, are you interested?
I don't think I'm eligible for that.
Yeah, that's true. We should probably not do it that way.
Sorry.
Hey, way to catch it. Thank you. Yeah, Melissa's kind of out. Krista, would you be interested? Okay. All right. Now let's go to events. Who wants to lead events? Well, you're eligible for that one, Trish. Haha, too bad. Hey, I'll give you what. You talked yourself into it. You can appoint your co-chair.
I rather enjoy events in Elmont, so.
There we go.
I will take part in that. This also involves Angela, right?
She's gonna have to. I mean,
Okay,
yeah. She's gonna have to be involved. Then I would have another a board person on there for now.
I will. I enjoy the events, so I have no problem
Thank you.
doubling up.
There we go. We got that solved.
And look for
All right.
emails from me and we'll figure out what days and times work for the committees to meet.
Okay.
Events and contract probably should be getting on the books.
Yeah, that'll be done sooner than later. And again, I have a couple calls into Doug on a couple things, so I want some information from him first. But yep. Any other comments or thought on the committees, concerns, changes? We need committee motions.
To establish the committee, yes.
So someone make a motion to establish the three committees. Steve makes the motion. Who wants to second it?
I'll second it.
Holly seconds. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Passes. We have three committees. We already have who's running, who's the co-chair. Away we go.
Problems we had in conflict with former DDA is it's a committee that had never been approved by the DDA board. It was it was a secret committee that was acting behind the scenes and collecting documents and not sharing them with the DDA board. So it looked a little bit corrupt, and this is nice and clean.
How long ago was that?
When did we moved to get rid of the DDA?
Oh.
It's about 5 years. Yeah, it was that
Okay.
whole fiasco.
Okay.
But that's part of why that happened. Is it was kind of like open warfare. Remember Melissa saying, the chairperson said, "Oh, well, I didn't send out that letter," and you said, "How come I have this here that you just sent to my husband?" Remember that one? It was supposedly it was a draft that I didn't send it out, and in fact, and it had been, I don't know if it was drafted by Toomer or the chairperson at that time. Yeah, there was game playing going on and just some nasty stuff. This is nice and clean. It's lovely for me to see.
So we said we're going to bring some changes, so here
Yep.
we're at.
For the better.
Speaking of changes, garbage cans. Out with the old, in with the new.
I've never been more excited to look at trash cans ever.
Trash cans downtown are in a state of disrepair. That is an understatement. They're dump. They're dumpster fire. So there's about a 4 to 6 week lead time. In the packet is a listing of trash cans. My question is, did you get with Brian to figure out if there's any?
Yep, I had him go through the list with me and I said, can you mark any off that you wouldn't use? And he said he didn't see an issue with any of them. He said the ones that aren't metal, he wouldn't necessarily recommend. Side note, though, he did also have the recommendation that after Holiday Parade, we remove them from the streets so they don't get deteriorated by salt, and then bring them back out in the spring. So that's just future talks, but that might protect our investment a little bit longer. Although these have lasted a long time. So.
So,
Here, I mean, there's a bunch of different options. I just guess I'm just through a bunch of different things so you can see the costs, and decide, you know, what we're looking to spend and if anyone is super opposed to a certain design, but this can also fall under a committee now, so
how many do we need total?
16.
16.
Mhm.
Ooh, that's a lot of trash cans. All right, so 16 trash cans. I know talking with Brian's guys, I was out there one day with them. We cut all the lids off. The issue to that is they fill with water and the drain and the bags out everywhere. So my 2 cents is whatever we pick is we need a lid to help prevent it. And it looks like some of them show lids, but then it looks like some of them have
A lot of
lids
them
as
you
an
can
option.
have, yes.
Yeah.
Most of them you can. And also, he also suggested that the smaller the hole in the top, the better, because we get a lot of like dumping of not pedestrian trash. So if the ones with the smaller lids, he said, would kind of serve that purpose of restricting that. There's a couple of them that have matching planters that you can buy, which would be cute. I know there's some planters in front of roots that are falling apart too, and I'm sure we could use them elsewhere.
So from the board, is there anything, so a couple things. Do we want to kick this back to the committee and have the committee come back with their final by next meeting? Or is it something that we want to vote on right now? Yeah, 4 to 6 weeks. So we're, basically, a month and a half out.
Were there any grants out currently for trash cans? I know we talked about that a couple meetings ago.
Not that I can find that don't include recycling, and I think that that's gonna be more. I think that's gonna be more of a nightmare than it's
Right, as great of an
necessarily
idea
worth
as it
with-
is to recycle.
Yeah, with
then-
having DPW have
Right,
to.
then the DPW, are they gonna have to sift? No, I don't think it's a good idea.
Also, they're much bigger because they're dual, so I don't know that we would want to take up that space.
To my 2 cents, it has a lot more complexity. So I guess the board needs to come up with do we vote on it now, or do we vote to tell the newly formed infrastructure finance committee to come back with their final recommendation?
Ready to make a decision. Angela, do you have a best option to recommend since you did this research? I mean, I'm happy to make a decision now if someone has a informed choice. But I know.
There was a couple that I liked, and there's a couple that are on sale right now. This square, it doesn't even show you. It just shows you the cover, but the 1, 2, 3, fourth one down, it's $602.95. That is a square one, and there's different designs on the paneling that you can get that we can choose from. You can also make the liner inside a different color than the outside. So I don't know if you wanted like an orange liner, say, in a black trash can, you could do that. I think there was like 30 different color options though. And that one has matching planters that you can get too. I think the planter was like $200. But that one's on sale right now. I think those are nice, but it's really going to be with the money that, like, what are we looking to spend? Because it is a chunk when you have 16 of them. What DPW says they have to empty all of them once a week. So
What size of ours now?
he believes that they're 32 gallon. He said they're either 32 or 35 or 36, but it's within that.
So if we throw this back to the committee, have them look at it, come back to March with a final answer we vote on, we order them right away, that puts us end of April, beginning of May. Is that too late to get them?
Never too late.
Yeah,
Well,
no.
I
We
mean,
need to
for
get it
where we're
done,
at
but-
now in what we've got.
I don't feel like I can make a decision on this
Yeah, no,
today,
no.
right?
And
Right,
let's,
no.
That's where I'm at.
I see a lot of questions there, like what
Yeah.
size, maybe there's a better size. If he's empty them quite a bit, maybe it's better to have a 45 or 47 gallon or whatever's on here. So let's, my
We
2
can- We can
cents,
sit down with Brian too,
Yeah.
the committee, and just knock it all out. I wasn't sure if garbage cans I know you guys had discussed in the past, so I didn't know if you had a number that you were, already looking to not exceed or what. But we can have the committee do it and we can get all of the questions answered and
I think at the time it was just high level. We didn't know costs. We didn't know how many. We just knew that it needed to get done.
I will also say with this company, you get a bulk discount. I think it's like $40 or $60 off a trash can if you order more than 5. So that cost would be lessened too.
So I don't think we need a motion. Let's just put it in the notes that committee will have an answer for us by the March meeting to vote on.
Just table.
Just table it.
Yeah.
Bring pretty pictures. All right. All right. A marketing lunch.
This
So
is-
go ahead.
This is still in the works, so I don't even necessarily know how much discussion we need to have, especially now that we have committees. But I've reached out to a couple of social media marketing experts who host workshops for business owners. And I included a quote from one of them. I reached out to a couple of other people who Dana Walker gave me some leads, and the Lake Orion DDA director, I've been talking with her. She's going to give me some contact information too. So I guess this is more of just an FYI. This is something I'm working on, and now I can go to the events committee about that. So
Perfect. All right. J would be Earth Day downtown cleanup. So part of an event, this was already talked about. We're going to have a downtown cleanup on Earth Day, April 22nd. And you'd like to set a budget for that. Is that something, again, back to the events committee, should we have them give us an answer by March, or because it's April 22nd, do we need to know this today? Do you think?
I would like to set a budget today because it is coming up, and if I'm ordering anything, I would like to do that. The only thing I was thinking about, and I would like to start promoting it too, just so that we can have people there. Brian's going to go through everything with me with a list of what he feels like needs to be done downtown. That stuff, those details the events committee can do, but budget wise, the only budget issue I think I was thinking about ordering like water bottles or something to give volunteers. I did include a quote in there, and that is for a ton of them. It's for 500. So obviously, I just went where the biggest price break was. And we wouldn't pay tax either, so that would be removed. So it's $550 for 500 water bottles, and you could have them branded with whatever are the DDA on one side and a cute little saying on the other, or whatever we wanted to do. And then those would just be, to hand out to volunteers at events, not just for this.
So this wouldn't be, we wouldn't spend it all there.
No, but if I'm gonna order them, I should order them in bulk.
Absolutely. It'd be amazing if 500 people showed up to help, but
Right. I mean, they're not,
it's a little overambitious.
but
So-
like
Yeah, they're
Heritage
great to have
Festival and
for-
everything
yep,
else
for
coming
sure.
up.
I was gonna say that when I worked the daddy-daughter dance, I talked to a lady from the Girl Scouts, and they would definitely be interested in it. That's kind of, I don't know if that's two separate conversations, but it came up there and I brought up there. She goes, I've been actually working on that.
Yeah.
So they would, our 4-H group, all of our kids are required to do 10 hours of community service to be able to show it fair. So I know I can get participation from them. So there's ways we can get some help.
And I've talked to a couple youth groups that are looking for service projects. So I think if we start getting the word out there soon, so I can start getting the word out there tomorrow. Even if we want to hold off on, it's not going to cost us anything to have people come downtown and clean up. I just thought if we wanted to, I don't know, have
So-
something for the volunteers, even something like, if we need anything painted, if we're getting new trash cans, then it's not worth painting those, but like we're going to have someone paint the clock if we're good with a volunteer doing that. I don't know.
So I think maybe that's some, again, events committee come back with a few more details. If you need a budget now, are we thinking just for the water bottles, and is it something we want to buy maybe subs or something for lunch, or have something for the volunteers?
So originally I had community barbecue to follow. I thought it'd be really cute to like have a, grill in the church parking lot, but it's April and I don't necessarily know what the weather's going to be like. And I don't know where we could go. I don't know. I don't want a bunch of people to show up for free food and then it's, bad weather and we don't have anywhere to go. So yes, I agree with food. That's going to be an events logistic.
So how
Maybe to
about-
the church?
I was gonna say, how about for today? What if we
Yep,
get
this is
back
the
to
only
the
thing I would need
events?
to order
Yeah.
if we're going to order.
So if you like the idea of the water bottles, give her the approval to do that, and with TBD on the events committee following up again in March with any other further costs and a little bit more in depth to what's needed or what's going to occur.
It doesn't even necessarily have to be water bottles. That was just the biggest bang for your buck. It's $1 basically. And we can get, hand them out at any event to volunteers.
Like the idea of giving a volunteer something for their time. And it may encourage people to say, we'll have a gift for the volunteers. People show up for free things. So I like the idea of that. I think it's great.
What's the lead time on this? How long does it take to get done?
So I've ordered from this company a lot and it's usually 30 days. You have your,
So you
Got
need to
it.
do it now because if okay.
Yeah.
So anybody want to make that motion or other motion or any other further discussion or any ideas?
I will make a motion to approve purchase of the water bottles for volunteers.
Not to exceed.
Not to exceed $600, and to push the rest of budgeting to the events committee and to get back with us on the next meeting. Good enough?
Is there any upcharge on the logo or is that the price?
that I believe is included with the setup and everything.
Second that motion?
Second.
Melissa seconds it. Any further discussion? All in favor? Opposed? All right, buy some water bottles.
Hey, thanks.
All right, we skipping H. J, Good Grounds crowdfunding,
Oh, sorry, did I have a typo? Crowdfunding?
crowdfunding. I said it wrong. Patronicity. So the new owners of European Deli have some large expenses they will be incurring in the coming months. So what's the board on supporting some different funding initiatives for them? Can you expound a little bit more on kind of the complexities or what's been going on with that?
So they purchased Are we going to talk about them specifically or just the board's overall standing on if we back, are we comfortable backing a crowdfunding initiative for a business in the DDA district? Patronicity is a crowdfunding that basically matches what you crowdfund through grants. Okay. But obviously we need to have the same protocol for every business in our district. So are we comfortable with backing a crowdfunding initiative by a business? Is that something we are willing to explore and help with, or do we not want to do we want to stay away from that?
So
A little thing was going in my brain going, is that illegal?
so
Aside from the practicality of it,
right.
is it legal?
So they approached us on this question, right? And we do offer the facade grant, right? They can
Right.
apply for.
Yeah.
We do have that facade corporation we're doing nothing with. I mean, that is a way for us to do lending. LDC has a very, very, very robust lending program they can be involved with. To your point, I think it goes down a path of, right. I mean, listen, when you're getting into business, it's up to you to check your facts and sorry you ran into some issues, but we're not there to help with it, my 2 cents. But again, it was a question that was posed to the board.
I suppose the entrepreneurs could start their own crowdfunding campaign, and it's legal for them.
Right.
But for a governmental agency to stick their nose in the, it's like, yeah, that worries me.
That's a concern. And I think, depending on, again, let the board talk through it, but I think if we give that messaging back, and that's the hard part, you open the door for them, and then it's the next one, then it's the next one, it's the next one, right?
Well, I think the bigger discussion though is, if they start their own, are we comfortable sharing that and putting that out there like on our social media or no?
That's closer to the legal line. It sounds like less of a problem if they're doing it. It's just on their website that European, well, whatever. What are they going to call the place? Whatever their
Good
names
Grounds.
get. Pardon?
Good grounds.
Good Grounds. Yeah. So Good Grounds has a crowdfunding campaign. Sounds like less of a concern, as long as we're not implementing it.
I think it would be very similar to sharing an event that they were having. And we're just sharing that, but not supporting it in any way.
So if we threw that disclaimer out there, we're just sharing this for a local business.
I agree. I don't have a problem with that as long as legally we don't have a problem. I think that's fine. And, our position as the board is to direct them to the resources that we know that are available to business owners.
I mean, my 2 cents is I have a hard time backing it. I don't have a problem helping them throw that information out there, but backing it's a whole nother animal.
We certainly wouldn't want the crowdfunding money coming into the DDA.
Correct.
Village, right?
So I think, I don't know if we need a motion on that.
No,
I think
it
we're
was more just discussion. So if that happens, I know how to proceed.
They can tag us on Facebook, or we'll share their message. We have nothing listed for old business. Any public comment on non-agenda items? No. Anything from the village would you like to pass along to us? No. How soon can you start taking over everything?
I thought we discussed March, did we not?
Okay.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure you're still on that path.
I would probably like to discuss with the budget finance committee, just to make sure that the transfer goes.
Okay.
We'll let you know when our first meeting is. We'll make sure you're available.
Okay.
Any reaction from the 3 young ladies who attended last night's council meeting?
I thought it was very good. It was informational. It was helpful. The young lady that put it on did a great job.
She is.
Yeah.
She's up here. She's incredibly bright. Yeah.
Who's that?
Caitlin Haben.
Yeah.
And she's been with us 5 years now. Yeah, I mean, she started as a rookie. She was good from day one, and she's just become more and more accomplished. And she knows her stuff.
Extremely
Yes,
informed.
yes.
Yeah.
You could run anything by her, and she will have a pretty good handle on how to address it and deal with it and what the parameters are. I mean, and she is. I used to fight with her. She said, "Buy the book. This is the way it's done." Right, Andy? And I used to battle with it. Well, I like flexibility. Well, no, this is the way it's done. And but she really lets you know the precise way in which things are to be handled. So yeah, that was. I thought it was a real plus. So, do you have the same impression, Trish?
I did. I was pretty impressed with her.
Yeah. And we see her regularly at Planning Commission and occasionally at council, and DDA not so often, but she's a real plus. So, okay, I'm just curious.
Well,
Thank you.
thanks for attending, those who could attend last night. Appreciate that. Any board questions or comments or anything before we adjourn?
We're gonna start going around the table like we talked about.
Can, yes. So, well, let's go around the table. Anything you'd like to bring up or talk about?
Moment.
Okay, Steve?
Yeah, keep going forward. Let's try to fill up our board if we can. But yeah, I'm still very encouraged. You get just a little bit of a negative feel, especially outside the board, of why does these people keep resigning? That's a little bit of a thing, but I think we can overcome that, and I'm still enthused and think we're in the right direction. And we've got good people. That helps, and no inner conflicts.
That's key.
Yep, absolutely. All going in the same direction.
On that same topic of board members leaving, I just want to make sure everyone who's not on the board, who doesn't have the letters, realizes that the two people that did just leave the board left for personal reasons, time issues, too many kids, too many activities, those kinds of things. It wasn't because of, what's going on here. So, and I just want to say thank you and good job to Angela. So things are going smoothly and better, and we keep saying it, but we're right on the edge of doing what we're supposed to be doing, and I think tonight was a huge step in really doing it. So awesome. Love it.
We're obviously all very committed coming on this crap weather.
Yeah,
I didn't want to come, but yeah.
My 2 cents is thank for those who just joined the board. We appreciate you stepping up. Thanks for everybody that's taken on a committee role. I mean, that's huge. I mean, it's a lot of steps forward. So on with the future, basically. So anyway, just appreciate everybody's time. I get it. It's taking time out of your life, but I thank you for it anyway. Melissa, you sure?
Yeah. So,
No complaints yet.
nothing.
Trish?
I think I've talked enough.
Appreciate it. Angel?
I want to welcome Melissa and Trish. I'm super excited to have you guys. I'm really excited just going forward. I think we're just right on the edge of Almont becoming what she, we all know she can be. So thank you all for your time. And I know that it's kind of thankless, but I think we're going to do great things.
Positivity and enthusiasm, I think, is very helpful. It's played a big role in making this a very viable organization again.
So I've heard a lot of great things from village people and people that work for the village. It's all been great. So, yeah. At that note, 8:31. Let's adjourn the meeting. Thank you all. Be safe when you go home. All right.